Okay, hi guys, welcome to day 36. We're back for another evening edition. It's getting darker earlier where we are in Canada. And fall is here. I mean, I guess technically fall has been here for a little bit, but it's now October, so it's like official, right? Okay, so day 36. I feel like we had this card, but we didn't. But we did. But we didn't. But we did. It's a similar card. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So what comes up in this card is, you see how this girl is sitting there looking out over there, and the word is dreamer. That's what comes up, is dreamer. And it's that point of looking at, it's like that point of who would you be if you lived in a different world? If money didn't matter, if if there wasn't all this like external restrictions placed on individuals that we currently use to a degree as an excuse to keep us in bondage, what would you do? Who would you be? Who would you actually be if you were free within yourself? If you were free from any care about what other people think of you, if you were free from any kind of ideas about yourself, if you were free within the idea of money, if you were free with like this point of like not holding yourself back but allowing yourself to live, if you were free of any excuses, if you were free of like anything, what would you do? What would you really do? Is there something that you've been wanting to do but you like keep giving yourself this excuse that you can't do it? That it's not right for you, or it's not meant for you, or not in this life? Is there a point of sacrifice? That's the word, sacrifice. I've been thinking about doing another video about realizations that changed everything for me. I did one a while ago in the series, and I feel like I came to some pretty profound realizations this summer that were like life-changing for me in terms of beliefs that I held that were so limiting and keeping me in bondage. One of them being that I have to sacrifice myself. That sacrifice is a part of life. That I have to sacrifice. I have to be a martyr. I have to give up something. And what I kept using was Phoenix as my reference point. Would I ever expect him to sacrifice something? Would I ever tell him, you have to sacrifice something about you or your life in order to live? Or you have to give up something that matters to you? Would I ever say that to him? Hell no, I wouldn't. So why am I doing that for myself? This idea that we have to sacrifice, from my perspective, is a huge like brainwashing tactic that has been instilled on majority of people that we are still living out. And that's why we accept a system where we have to sacrifice our life, our truth, our authenticity, our freedom. We sacrifice our freedom for living in this system because we believe we must. I mean, sacrifice is a belief that we hold, that we have to give up a life, we have to give up something, that it's not in the cards for us, it's not meant for us, it's not whatever. But I'm telling you, you were a little kid once with big fucking dreams and nothing holding you back, and someone came along and said that you have to hold yourself back, and you believed it, and you've been doing it ever since. And I'm here to tell you that it's time for you to return to that childhood point, to that innocent expression of you, that point of freedom, because within that's really who you are, and that's really what you deserve and are meant to be living. The idea that you have to sacrifice your dreams for this world is the biggest lie we've ever convinced ourselves of. It is the biggest point of self-deception. It's the biggest point of bullshit. I'm telling you, you don't have to sacrifice anything. Because if you're sacrificing yourself, then you're going to accept and allow this world of sacrifice. And you're going to say, well, I sacrifice, so other people have to sacrifice. And then we allow a world of starvation. And then we allow a world of abuse and neglect and mistreatment and the atrocities. We know them. And because we allow it within ourselves, we allow it in this world. So I'm here to tell you that self-sacrifice is not the way to create a world that's better for everybody. Sacrifice has nothing to do with it. We shouldn't be sacrificing ourselves. We should be nurturing and honoring ourselves and listening to ourselves and giving a damn about ourselves. We should care more about ourselves. We should care more about ourselves in this world, because ultimately that's the only thing you have to change. That's the only power you have to actually directly influence this world, is by changing who you are. And so I implore you to look at, if you're holding on to a belief that you have to sacrifice something. Do you think and believe that you have to do something you don't really want to do because you have to give up something for this life for other people? And I challenge you to change that and to consider, who would you be if sacrifice wasn't a part of the equation? If you knew you didn't have to sacrifice yourself, what would you do? If you really mattered, if you really mattered to you, what would you be doing? Who would you be? If you had a child, would you tell that child you have to sacrifice? This is a call. This is a call. I am calling out to everybody and I'm saying, you don't have to sacrifice yourself. You have to be the change that stands up within this world system and says, I no longer accept and allow this idea of sacrifice. We do not have to behead ourselves, belittle ourselves, bond ourselves, enslave ourselves. I don't have to be a slave to the system. I can free myself within it, you know, changing the system from the inside out. Literally from the inside out. And so what are you being called to do? What is that point that comes up within you as your greatest desire? If you were truly free, what would you be doing? And I'm going to use the word again, implore you to follow that call, because that's your heart. And we need hearts to wake up in this world. We need hearts to be beating. We need hearts to be leading the way. The sooner we start giving ourselves everything we've ever wanted, we can give everything we know everyone else deserves too. But we can't provide for this world as what's best for everybody until we're willing to do that for ourselves. Self first, always self first. And it's not being selfish and it's not being self-interested. It's being self-honest. It's being real about the fact that you can't save anyone. You'll never save anyone. You can only save yourself. And it's not even a saving of yourself. It's a listening to yourself. It's hearing yourself, and it's opening up to yourself, to your truth, to your desire, to what you really want in life. It matters. It matters so much. So that's my share for tonight. And it's a good reminder for me that I don't have to sacrifice, and I refuse to sacrifice. And I'm going to do everything I can in this life to give myself everything I've ever wanted, so that I can tell Phoenix that he can do the same. And I can live that example for others and show them the way. And, you know, yeah, it's just words right now, but I'm integrating it as I speak it, and I'm going to push myself to live it, and I trust my track record. Thanks for walking with. See you tomorrow.